Welcome back to DG Bricks. Today we are talking about 10 or more LEGO sets that I am buying, selling, or passing up. So the first set that I am buying, 76901 Toyota GR Supra. I really like the box art on this set, but this box in particular is a little bit torn up. So this may end up being the copy that I open up and build for myself. This set has a pretty long shelf life at 30 months, which is up there among the longest lasting Speed Champions sets. And while we're talking about the Supra, I also want to talk about the 76900 Koenigsegg Jesko. Now both of these sets retired at the end of 2023. Before they did retire though, they were put on a 50% off sale through Walmart.com. What I've done here is I've reordered my sales spreadsheet to put the sales with the highest ROIs at the top. And looking here, what do we see? My highest ever ROI, 232%, was the Nissan GTR Speed Champion. The reason that ROI is so high is because I got this set at a total cost of $12.04. And so selling it for a pretty reasonable sale price of $40, just 2 times the MSRP, I was able to over triple my money on this one particular unit that I purchased at $12.04. So when you're thinking about what sets you should buy in the future for LEGO investment, it can be really helpful to look at your past. And in doing so, I realized that Speed Champions purchased at 40 or 50% off are a no-brainer, and they're a pretty easy way to triple money. So when I saw that this set, as well as the Jesko, went on 50% off on Walmart, I was all over it. I ordered about 85 of these sets. For the Koenigsegg Jesko, I was able to get this $20 MSRP set for a total cost out the door of $10.67. That's a crazy good price, good for a 46.6% discount. Now the Supras did sell out a little bit faster, and I had purchased some prior units at a higher average cost. So my average cost on the Supra is $12.54, pretty much right in line with what you saw out of the Nissan GTR. So if I can just sell those after fees and shipping for $40, then I should be over that 200% ROI threshold that I was able to get on the Nissan. I think these Supras are going to perform absolutely phenomenally. Not so sure about the Jesko, since that is a more boutique manufacturer, less of a street car. There's fewer examples out in the wild. I know LEGO Speed Champions is pivoting away from street cars and more toward exotic cars, F1 cars, and the racing side of the theme. That's okay, but personally, I would really like to see them tackle more production cars that you actually see on the street. With them moving up to the $27 price point, the days of $20 Speed Champions are quickly coming to an end, and especially being put at half off from retailers, I don't think that's something that's going to happen again. So I did want to get my fill of Speed Champions at half off. Different investors have different strategies for how long they like to hold sets. Some people like to turn over their inventory as quickly as possible and compound their growth. And while mathematically that is a good strategy, it does take a lot of time. But when I think about the Supra, I'm thinking I might hold those a little bit longer because there's still a ravenous fandom for old Supras from the 90s. This marquee is not going to go away even after Toyota stops production of this generation of Supra. This is something that's going to be around in pop culture and especially in car culture for a long time. So I think 5 or 7 or 9 or 10 years from now, there's going to be plenty of demand for this yellow Supra. And I'm glad to have gotten mine for 37% off. Something that really surprised me in 2023 was the different retailer mix that I used. In 2022, I ended up purchasing actually a majority of my inventory from Kohl's when they ran some crazy sales on sets like the Mandalorian Starfighter and the C8 Corvette. So this year I geared myself up to order from Kohl's again. I looked at all my past order dates, I made a calendar, and wouldn't you know it, I ended up ordering almost nothing from Kohl's this year. I ended up using a lot of Walmart and a lot more Target and Barnes & Noble. So you gotta be flexible, you gotta be able to change the plan. The next set that I purchased for investment is one I have talked about on this channel many times, and it is the 75342 Republic fighter tank. The set launched in mid-2022 and it retired at the end of last year, 2023, with just about a 20-month shelf life, which is pretty average or maybe even on the short side for a Star Wars playset. This set was a Target exclusive, and for the first few months of its existence, it was very difficult to find in the wild. It consistently sold over its MSRP on eBay, Amazon, and once availability did catch up to the demand, the price did start to sink. The set was a bit hard to find on sale throughout the entire year, but for Black Friday, for some reason, Target put this set on a $25 sale. And when I saw that amazing price for this set, I knew that it was a winner. That is a price that you absolutely cannot lose on when you have a clone vehicle, 2 different types of exclusive clone troopers. You also have the Mace Windu with arm printing. Looks way better than the figure in the $400 UCS gunship. And this figure is in a $40 fighter tank. This was a no-brainer at $25. I picked up all that I could. When I am doing LEGO investing, I am not gobbling up all the available supply and artificially increasing the price. What I'm looking to buy are simply sets that I can get today at a great price that are going to be desirable 1 year in the future, 2 years in the future, or as much as 5 years in the future. This set was available for over a year and a half, and while it was limited to Target stores, it was plentiful throughout its shelf life. The buyers that I intend to sell to in the future are fans that get into the hobby today, tomorrow, or next year that never even knew this set existed and will never have had the chance to pick it up. And I think an important distinction to make is that I'm not looking to corner the market or artificially increase the price price to make it unobtainable. On a product that has distribution as widespread as Lego, no individual seller has the power to influence the market like that. So how high the price on this set goes is ultimately not going to be a function of the limited supply, but it's going to be a function of how much demand there is for it in the future. This was the easiest Lego investment decision I've made since 2022 when I purchased all those Mandalorian fighters for around 35 bucks. The next couple sets that I purchased for investment are both Aston Martin Speed Champion sets. First up here we have the 76910, Aston Martin AMR Pro, and Aston Martin Vantage GT3. Wow, that's a mouthful. This is a dual pack set, and unlike the Corvette from last year, this set's retail price is $45, which is a little bit steep. At least in the United States where I live, Aston Martin is a much rarer car to see than something like a Corvette, and so I would expect that the demand for this set would be a lot lower than for something like the Corvette. However, during Black Friday 2023, Target put this set on sale for $21.59, which is a ludicrously low price. So even though I think this is going to be one of the weaker performing Speed Champion sets, getting it at over half off is, like the fighter tank, a no-brainer. I purchased 8 of these sets at an average cost of $22.23, almost exactly 50% off after all discounts and taxes. And very closely related to this set is another Aston Martin Speed Champion, 76911, the 007 Aston Martin DB5, the James Bond car. During the same time frame we can see here, Target put this set on sale for $10.79. That is insane. I ended up with 54 copies of this set purchased at an average cost of $11.94. That's a 40% discount. So I do expect to do very well on those, and an important thing I want to mention is that this set and this set are both Aston Martin, which means that they bundle together very well. Now, up to this point in my Lego investing journey, I have only sold locally and on eBay. In the next year, I'm looking to move to Amazon, and so thinking about selling on Amazon, I know that Speed Champions have a strong track record of appreciation, and the fact that they're a small average transaction value is not so much of a problem if I'm not the one fulfilling the orders, if instead Amazon FBA is the one packing them, shipping them out, handling customer returns, and everything like that. So once again, I look to my past experience with the Nissan GTR to help make decisions on what I should invest in going forward. And the last set that I purchased recently is this one right here, 76412 Hufflepuff House Banner. I've talked pretty extensively about the House Banner line, and earlier in 2023, I thought that I was going to go pretty deep into the complete set. The main 2 houses, Slytherin and Gryffindor, are actually still available at certain retailers, whereas the other 2 houses, Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, look to be sold out, and early indications are that they're actually performing much better. All the sets in the House Banner sub-theme had unusually short shelf lives of about 9 months, 1st of March 2023 through the 31st of December 2023. I guess that is 10 months. So with its bright yellow colors, I will say this is probably the most eye-catching of the House Banners. I also like that these are a little bit more niche Harry Potter characters, and while Harry Potter minifigures are not where the big bucks are at, not as an investor, but just as a fan, it's nice to see some more niche characters get made in minifigure form. I only purchased one of this set for a total cost of $29.07. That's a 17% discount. But looking here, this set is selling today on eBay for $49.65, $60, $50. You could have got this set easily during its shelf life for 20% off. And so anyone who stacked many copies of these sets is probably feeling pretty good right now. I don't usually buy such a low amount of one set because whether I buy 1 copy or 100 copies, I still have to put it in my spreadsheet. It takes a little bit of mental energy to keep it organized. And so is it really worth picking up 1 copy of this set just to end up with a profit of $20 or $30 on it? Not really. But I was already in store at Barnes & Noble and I did see it on the shelf, so I did want to pick it up, along with a couple copies of the Hedwig set there. Despite this set's really long shelf life, I think it is going to be a great performer because of the fact that it is inherently underpriced. It's 630 pieces for $40. This set has had a very long shelf life of 3 years and 7 months, and despite being retired at the end of 2023, this set is still available at barnesandnoble.com, and as we see here from the title, Barnes & Noble exclusive. This set has never been available through Target, Walmart, or Amazon Direct. This set's price has fluctuated a lot, but it has sold as high as $99. And if you can get it today for $40, plus a Barnes & Noble premium membership, plus some stamps, maybe some credit card cash back, then that's a really great deal. Another way that you can get great deals is through using Rakuten. We can see here at the top right, we have 1.5% cash back. If I wanted to purchase some of this set, I would simply activate that and then go through with my purchase. I'm going to show you guys the back end of my Rakuten dashboard here. These are some of my recent purchases. Looks like on the 20th, I spent $121 at Barnes & Noble. Now it's only 1.5% 2.5% cash back, but every little bit helps and it definitely adds up. Other retailers like Walmart or Lego.com will occasionally have cash back as high as 3%, 5%, or even 10%. So definitely don't sleep on Rakuten. If you haven't yet signed up, there is a referral link in the description below. If you sign up with that link and make a purchase of $30 or more, Rakuten will send you a bonus of $30, meaning you basically get the cost of your purchase for free. I also receive a bonus when you sign up, so this is a great way to help out the channel. So if you head into a store expecting to pick up a couple copies of Hedwig, but you actually end up seeing the last copy of the Hufflepuff House banner on the shelf next to it, it might be a decent idea to consider it. I only planned on sharing those 5 sets. I guess we got Hedwig as a bonus set. We got 6 sets that I bought. So now it's time to talk about some sets that I sold. And the first one I want to talk about today is 76395 Hogwarts First Flying Lesson. This set was a Kohl's exclusive, which is somewhat of a strange thing. I haven't seen too many other Kohl's exclusives. Now, when this set was available near the end of the year 2022, I heard a lot of buzz from other investors talking about how it was going to be a great investment. They planned on going so deep into it. And I'm gonna be honest, I did not research this set that heavily. I'm sort of lukewarm on Harry Potter, especially these tan sets with the Castle series. But when I saw them available from Kohl's for 20% off, I did not want to miss out. I felt a little bit of something we call fear of missing out. And so I didn't even do much of my own research at all. I just piggybacked on the sentiment of other investors, which is a very dangerous thing to do. Now, in this case, it worked out. This set has turned out to be a great investment, especially if you got it below MSRP like I did. I purchased my copies of this set for an average cost of $20.56. That's 31% off. But because I didn't have a lot of conviction in this set, I hadn't done my homework, and I didn't want to be wrong, I only made a very small investment of 3 sets, $60 that I put in. And this last December, I sold all 3 copies for an average price of $49.52. After eBay fees, that worked out to be $41.88. And after subtracting my shipping, which was $8.06 on each of those sets, I ended up netting $33.82. That is good for a 64.5% ROI, which is not bad for 1 year of hold time. But I am kicking myself for not getting more copies of this set. And if I'd done some more in-depth analysis instead of just piggybacking on the market sentiment of other investors, I might have seen this set for the winner that it turned out to be, and I might have been able to get 30 copies instead of just 3. And the next set that I sold is the 40558 Star Wars Clone Trooper Command Station. This set had a 1-year shelf life from the beginning of 2022 until the end of that year, but for much of this year, it was completely out of stock. And so the market price during this set's shelf life reflected this lack of supply. According to Brickset today, this set goes for $25 in new condition. And looking here on eBay, going here for $30 in free shipping, $30 without free shipping. We have 3 of them here going for $68. I sold my last 3 copies of this set because I wanted to get it out of my spreadsheet. It was such a small set anyway that it wasn't going to make a huge difference whether I held out for another $5 or $10 a unit. I ended up selling these sets locally, so there were no eBay fees or shipping charges. And so against my initial investment of $15, $5 profit on 15 is exactly 33% ROI. Sometimes when you have just a few copies of a set remaining, it can be pretty tempting to clean them out, delete that line in your spreadsheet, do your analysis, and just move on. And so that's exactly what I did. I sold several sets recently, and each of them kind of illustrates a different reason that you might have for selling a set. The next set that I sold is one that's pretty old, 75243 Slave 1 20th Anniversary Edition. This set released way back in 2019, and I bought it end of year 2020. This was one of the first sets that I purchased for Lego investing. The main sources of value from this set are the exclusive minifigures. We have the 20th Anniversary Princess Leia figure going for about $23 new, and the Bounty Hunter Zuckuss figure. This is the big draw for this set. He goes for $48. This set sells today on Amazon for $210. It looks like it has sold as high as nearly $300, but after the release of the new Boba Fett Starship, that has come crashing down, and this set has been on a decline ever since. This is pretty surprising. It's one of the longest extended declines I've seen. Will this start to go back up now that that more recent Slave 1 is no longer available? I don't know. We'll have to see. So this is one of the worst ROIs I've ever had on a set. I sold 2 copies of this set for $190 plus $20 shipping, so $210 altogether. After eBay fees, I was left with $175.75. And because the box is so large on this set, I ended up spending a lot more than I anticipated shipping it. I charged the buyer $20 for shipping, but I ended up spending $24.19 shipping this set. So after all the math shakes out, my net revenue on this set was $150.56. I purchased these sets for $117.60, 2% off the MSRP, making for a 28% return ROI for 3 years of hold time. This is not a negative ROI, so it's not my worst performer yet, but I think I waited way too long holding these sets, hoping they would recover in value. I did so many things wrong on this set. I remember when I was considering purchasing this set, looking at this spike right here and saying, oh wow, this set goes over $200. I should be fine purchasing at MSRP. I got greedy. I could have timed it perfectly and maybe sold them here when the price on Amazon went to $280. But ever since then, it's just been down, down, down. And I do think that the price will eventually recover. But for what I'm trying to do with my business, I'm trying to multiply money as quickly as I can. I can't be holding sets for 3 years just to make 28% on them. So I only sold 2 copies of this set. I do have 2 more that I'm hanging on to for the long term. Who knows? I may want to open one and build one day. This set is teaching me a valuable lesson that sometimes when you make a subpar investment, it's better just to pull the plug, just to offload that set at a very small gain or even a small loss, just so that you can get that capital working for you again. I knew that the Slave 1 was going to be re-released in a different scale, but what I didn't expect is that the differently scaled version of that set was going to impact the larger version so extremely. So this is a painful lesson. I will definitely be purchasing sets at a better discount in the future. And the last set that I sold is set number 21328, the Ideas Seinfeld set. This set had a 17-month shelf life. It retired at the end of 2022. I actually purchased this set 3 whole months after it retired through Barnes & Noble. It was still available in March of 2023, so I ended up picking up 5 copies of this set at just a small discount, $76.87. And after everything we just talked about, why did I choose to pick up a set so close to the MSRP? The answer is that at the time I purchased this set, I looked on camel.com. We can see here, 2023 starts right here, and in March of that year, the price had already appreciated up to well over $100. And unlike the 20th anniversary Slave 1, I calculated that this set had a very low chance of being re-released. So it was a little bit of a gamble, but I was comfortable picking them up at very close to MSRP. So I ended up selling all 5 copies that I had of this set this last Q4 for an average cost of $126.56. And so after fees and shipping, that's not the greatest ROI. I probably sold these sets too soon, but I'm okay with that because I needed the revenue this last Q4 to pay off some business debts and also to reinvest into the new round of sets. So those are 3 sets that I sold. Now I want to talk about a couple of sets that I passed up on. You may recall we've already talked about this set on episode 7 of Brick Talk. We are talking about set number 80019, Monkey Kid Red Sun's Inferno Jet. This character, Red Sun, is one of the villains from the Monkey Kid series. This theme has some really huge sets, but this is a rarity. This is a $35 set. It retired at the end of 2022, but it popped back into stock very briefly toward the end of 2023 for $24. Despite saying in that episode of the podcast that I was about to order 3 of these sets right after we finished recording, I forgot to do so. And look at this. In just 2 months since that day, the price has gone from $24 to $56 and change. Now, interestingly, it looks like some third-party sellers did drop their price to around $40. So I wonder if some resellers picked up that set at that price and then let them go. But in any case, I passed up this set not out of a choice to, but because I simply forgot to jump on this amazing deal. I will say that it does hurt to miss very promising sets like this, especially when you consider them, they were right under your nose, and somehow you just forgot to order them like I did. But like we talked about earlier, FOMOing into certain sets because you're afraid to miss them can lead you to make some really bad mistakes. So ultimately, I would rather use data to develop a very high probability of success, use that hit list and stick very closely to it. And if you see a random deal that was not on your hit list, you can maybe make a game time decision, but if there's any doubt at all, it's probably there for a good reason, and you might want to reconsider before you purchase a set that you did not intend to. And the last set I want to talk about today, Lego Technic 42134. This is the Monster Jam Megalodon. This is a shark monster truck. This is insane. This set had a 2-year shelf life. It just retired at the end of last year. I don't know a lot about Monster Jam. I did look on Google Trends, and it looks like the interest in this topic is somewhat cyclical. It seems to peak each year. $20 MSRP for a pretty decent piece count. Keep in mind it's a Technic set, so a lot of those are small little pins and axles. As I record this video, this set is still available through Barnes & Noble for its MSRP. And in fact, after a Barnes & Noble premium membership discount, some stamps, some Rakuten, and credit card cash back, like we talked about, you could potentially get this set for around 10 to 20% off. Looking here at how it's selling on Amazon, the price today is $31.94. And if we look here at the chart, we can see that that is a green number, which means that is actually sold directly by Amazon. While the blue lines are telling me that the out-of-stock performance during the set's life is pretty strong, it's selling 50% or more over its MSRP, I am going to be careful with this set because this price chart is not a glitch. This set is actually sold and shipped by Amazon today. And so I would guess that not a lot of third-party sellers are going to be getting orders for this set until Amazon sells sells out, since if you were a customer, why would you order from a third-party seller over Amazon? So the Amazon price is $31.94. The third-party price today is $32.38. I'm sure that will rise eventually once Amazon sells out, but I'm a little bit nervous that Amazon has seemingly found a palette of these sets, and instead of giving them away at 30% off like the Monkey Kids set, they're actually charging over 50% above MSRP. This is one of the first in this $20 monster truck pullback series to retire, and if we look at past results, it seems like early retirees in sub-themes are the ones that go on to have huge multiples in value. I don't really invest in Technic, and so like we talked about, I'm okay letting this opportunity pass me by. Number one, because I don't consider Technic to be a subject of expertise of mine. Number two, because I don't own any of the other sets in this theme, so I won't be able to bundle them together. And number three, I'm a little bit nervous about how much stock Amazon has and how long it might take them to sell out. It's a little too early to be making judgments since this set just retired 6 weeks ago. We're gonna have to wait a little bit longer to see. So there you have it. I think we ended up talking about 11 sets today instead of 10. Little bonus set for you there. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss future content. I'll be both looking back at sets I sold last year and looking forward at sets I'm considering purchasing this year. Thank you so much for watching. Don't hold duds for 3 years like I did. Buy very carefully and have a great day.